So the parenting fill is when you let them move back in, and then you're making sandwiches for them and paying their bills, and they become
they're playing
kids
Xbox in the basement.
Yeah,
But
when they act like children, yeah, that's bad.
I think there is a lot of that takes place. I think realistically, and you mentioned other generations, and times have changed. I think back to my dad, who grew up on a farm, and whenever he was at home, he was working.
Yeah, he didn't want to move back home because that was a lot of work.
Well, it's just, when you're at home, everyone has a defined task, and, you know, every single generation moving forward, at least one of the kids has stayed on to work the farm, and so it becomes very beneficial for everyone, so to speak. But I do think that there are plenty of situations where, you know, kids are into their 30s and they're just getting taken care of at home, and so they don't want to leave.
Because they're still doing kid.
Right, and so how do you prevent that scenario? Because if your child comes back home and it's decreasing your happiness as a parent,
and they've stalled in their development.
What do you do? How do you change things, or potentially, let's say you want them out? How do you transition
You
them
want
out?
them to be on the ramp to out so that they can have a nuclear family of their own or structure their adult life how they choose to. And so the fastest answer is financial. I can't tell you how many people I know in their 20s and 30s who are still on their parents' cell phone plan. They're not paying for their own cell phone. They're not paying for their own car insurance. Not only are they maybe not paying much or anything in utilities and rent, but if you are still financially supporting your adult child like they're a child, it would be dumb of them to try to move out. Yeah. That would be a silly financial choice.
So you need to make sure they're taking responsibility and treating them more like a roommate.
Right, that you're shifting that balance, that you say, this year, I'm gonna help with this, or these 6 months, I'm gonna help with this, but just so you know, 6 months from now, I'm gonna help with only this much. And then it's gonna be mostly your responsibility. And by the time you turn X age, or you've been with us for X number of months or years, I expect you to be financially independent, even if we're all still choosing to live in the same home. And usually around that point, they think, well, if I'm paying for all these things myself and I could have more privacy, why wouldn't I move out?
Did you guys read about the case where it was a young adult male and his parents took him to court to kick him out of the house?
Yes!
And he argued that he didn't have enough time before his eviction, and the judge said, nope, you're out.
He for sure got a judge who had adult children. It was like, oh no, this does not fly.